it's Andre, and I just got back from seeing Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I've been so excited about seeing this movie since Sonic 1, since I've seen all the trailers. Because the movie just came out, this is going to be a non-spoiler review. I'm going to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. Definitely make sure you're subscribed to my channel because I will be making a video in the future that's going to go all in on this movie. But for right now, this is just a general review. I really enjoyed that first Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I felt like that even though it didn't have a strong amount of video game references, it was really just trying to lay the groundwork of a Sonic the Hedgehog story, because they probably just wanted to see if anyone wanted to see a Sonic the Hedgehog story. You get the road trip between Sonic and James Marsden. Some people like to compare it to the Chipmunks movies or the Smurfs movies, but I felt that Sonic was always front and center, even if he was sharing screen time with human characters in the first movie. In Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic is the star. Like, there's literally moments where the human characters are like, hey Sonic, we're gonna go over here and do this thing. You got the movie, right? All right, peace. So I'm glad that they know that people want to see Sonic the Hedgehog in a movie called Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Now, I will say when this movie first starts out, it kind of feels similar in style and tone as the first movie, with its humor, with the stuff that they're doing with Sonic. I got a little concerned because all the trailers for this movie have been giving me the hint that, oh man, they're really gonna play more into the video game lore of Sonic the Hedgehog. So when this movie first started, I was like, well, maybe that's only gonna be like one scene or two scenes, but we're gonna get more of the same with the first movie. But I think they did this on purpose because the movie starts off feeling like the first Sonic movie. But then as the movie progresses, as the movie keeps going, fully embracing its video game roots and origins, and I love the movie for doing that. If you're gonna make a movie about a video game character, you should probably pull some stuff from the character's video games in the movie, and Sonic 2 has no problem doing that. There are characters, nods and references, plot points, story beats, full scenes that are definitely inspired or completely taken out of various Sonic the Hedgehog games. And I'm not even talking about like a specific Sonic game. They have definitely pulled little nuggets from various games in the Sonic the Hedgehog library. I thought that was really great. And some of them might be a little blatant, but there's a lot of nods and references to the games in this movie that don't really stop and go, you get it? They're just things that happen in the movie. So if you're just watching the movie, it's just a thing that happens. But for the hardcore Sonic fans, they'll be like, oh, I know what that's from. Oh, I get that. Like, I definitely found some when I was watching, and there's probably more in the movie that I didn't notice that other people are gonna notice. There's some scenes that made the audience cheer and scream. That's always awesome. I won't say what they are, but it happened. I gotta give props to the writers too, because they have found ways to incorporate random things that happen in Sonic 1 and go, why did this character show up in Sonic 2? Or why is this thing happening in Sonic 2? Well, this random scene that happened in Sonic 1 actually connects to this. They figured out a way to build on top of what they did with the first movie. I'm really glad that this movie is embracing its video game roots, because I felt like the first movie did a good job of laying the groundwork of Sonic as a character and the world that they've set up here. So it makes sense that the second movie goes a little bit more into what makes Sonic Sonic based on its video games. I really enjoyed that. Now, playing devil's advocate, I know there's probably gonna be some people who will probably be like, whoa, I don't really know Sonic the Hedgehog video games that well. This might be too much, or this might not make as much sense. But what I think is also cool about this movie, I think that it does a really good job of saying, we will add all this gaming stuff, but we're not gonna just completely abandon what we've already set up. So you're still gonna have the human characters, you're still gonna have the themes in this movie of family, friendship, what it means to be a hero. So the grounded stuff of Sonic the Hedgehog is still in Sonic 2, but now on top of that ground, they got the stuff you might know from video games, including new characters. This is not a spoiler. If you've seen the trailers, you know that Tails is in this movie, you know that Knuckles is in this movie. Tails is absolutely adorable. Tails, in my opinion, is basically playing a Sonic fanboy in this movie, and I'm sure a lot of you know this, but in case you don't know, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, who is the voice of Tails currently in the video games, is the voice of Tails in the movie.
Hope I'm not too late.
She does a wonderful job playing against Sonic, who's once again voiced by Ben Schwartz, who also does a great job. He's a great Sonic the Hedgehog. That man knows how to voice blue characters. But yes, props to Colleen being in here. Look, I know that celebrities voicing characters in movies, always a weird thing, because there's some celebrities who really take it seriously and do a great job, and there's other celebrities that do it where they are clearly just getting a paycheck, or they're doing it because their kid wants to hear them be a cartoon character. But it's always awesome to hear a voice actor voice a character in a movie, particularly a character they've already voiced elsewhere. So to hear Colleen voicing Tails in this, I just thought that was really awesome, and I'm really glad the movie decided to keep her as the voice after she voiced Tails in the after credit scene in the first movie. But that being said, talking about celebrities voicing characters, Idris Elba as Knuckles, oh my God. I love Idris Elba as Knuckles in this movie. He is great. You clearly feel his power, that fist. He is so strong in this movie, and he is very funny in this movie. But what makes him funny, which I absolutely love, they already got Sonic doing the jokes and the pop culture references. What makes Knuckles funny is that he is playing his character very seriously, to the point where other characters are like, what is up with this dude? But even though he has comedic moments, Knuckles is badass. Like he is legit. Do not mess with him. Because you know how Sonic like to talk that lip. Sonic talked one too many times, and Knuckles lives up to his name. And the arc that he goes through in this movie is really cool. But yes, the human characters are still here. James Marsden is still here. Tika Sumpter is still here. Tika Sumpter and Natasha Rothwell are like VIPs in this movie. There are some scenes that they have that don't have Sonic or Tails, and I was actually like, oh, I'm into this. Hold up, I just thought about something. This movie has Tika Sumpter, Natasha Rothwell, Shamar Moore, Idris Elba voicing Knuckles. Dang, this Sonic movie got some black excellence. And the Hedgehog trying to get that BET award. I see you. You know what? I'm throwing Agent Stone in there too. Let's just look at all the melanin that's inside the Hedgehog too. I think they did a really good job with the human characters this time. And I think because we got to spend a good amount of time with them in the first movie, now in this one, when we see them a couple of times without Sonic, it doesn't bother me as much. But what's nice is that even though they have a couple of times to shine, they are supporting characters to Sonic and friends. And then, of course, there is Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. He is being Jim Carrey in his Jim Carreyest. It is full-blown Jim Carrey. Sometimes a bit too much, I will be honest. But again, committing to the bit, that's what Jim Carrey does. This movie is not perfect, though. As much as I liked it, there are some things that are a little off. The movie is 2 hours long. I think an hour 30, an hour 40 would have still got the job done. There are definitely some scenes that I go, this is cute, but we don't really need it. I don't know if it's because they were just like, hey, people are going back to the movies, let them indulge in all of this. Kind of feels sometimes like a director's cut of the movie where I feel like they could have been a little bit tighter. Just a little bit. Although it did crack me up. There's one scene in this movie that I was like, oh my gosh, this is Alvin and the Chipmunks the Road Chip. This is literally Alvin and the Chipmunks the Road Chip. This one scene, when you see it, you'll know exactly which one. Song and all, you'll be like, oh, that's Alvin and the Chipmunks the Road Chip. And yes, even though this is Sonic the Hedgehog and we want to get all in our nostalgia, there's some jokes and some pop culture references and some farts that are definitely for kids. Not all of those work for me, but I get why they're there. It's Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I should have expected that. Some people are gonna look at this movie the same way they look at like the Chipmunks or the Smurfs or Garfield or any of those types of movies. They're gonna think it's that exact same thing because it looks like that exact same thing on the surface. But for me personally, really watching Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I was like, I see what they're doing here. I feel like what they're doing is they're doing building blocks. They started off with something very simple in the first movie. They're building more gaming type stuff in this one. And I think now when we get to Sonic 3 and the Knuckles spinoff, they can go all in. And I kind of like that. It kind of reminds me of those cartoons that you sometimes watch that they seem like they're just wacky shows at first. And then when you get to season 2, it's like, oh shoot, all this is happening in this? If Sonic the franchise ends up being like that, I think that would be really cool. But seriously, I can't stress enough. I'm just excited and happy that a movie based on a video game actually did stuff based on the video game. All the way to the credits. You don't have to watch the absolute to the end of the credits, but you definitely want to watch a good amount of credits for reasons. And the sad thing is like, I don't want to spoil it, but if you know Sonic, you probably can guess. Overall, I really did like Sonic 2. It's enjoyable, fun. The CG looks really good in it. It's definitely taking use of its source material, which I love. And yet it's still a story about what it means to have a family and what a family is. Even though it has all these random video game references that's gonna make a Sonic fan go, ooh, I know what that is. It still has heart. And I just appreciate that. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 should not be a movie to be taken seriously. It should be a fun movie. And for me, it was a fun movie. And I definitely cannot wait to see it again. It's just crazy to me that in the 2020s, Sonic the Hedgehog has 2 good movies. Who would have thought? See you in December, Mario. voiced by Chris Pratt. So are you going to see Sonic the Hedgehog 2? And if you did see it, what did you think of it? And like I said, make sure you're subscribed to this channel because I'm definitely going to come back and do a spoiler talk about Sonic the Hedgehog 2 because there's some stuff to talk about. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Audi 5000.